Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Shinvitam Swakata Krishna Punyashravana Kirtana Hrudayantasto hi abhadrani vidunoti suhrutsatam नष्टप्राये शिवभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैस्तिकी. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 24, the verse 19 and 20. The verse 19. Maitreya uvacha prachetasah piturvakyam sirasadhya sadbhavaha disham pratisim prayayus tapasya cetasaha. Synonyms: Maitreya uvacha. The great sage Maitreya continued to speak. Prachetasaha. All the sons of King Prasinabharhi, Pitu of the father, Vakyam words, Sirasa on the head, Adya accepting, Sadvaha all pious, Disham direction, Pratisim western, Prayay went away, Tapassi in asterisk, Dhrit accepting seriously, Chetasaha in the heart. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, because of their pious nature, all the sons of Prasinabharhi very seriously accepted the words of their father with heart and soul, and with these words on their heads, they went toward the west to execute their father's order. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In this verse, Sadavaha, meaning pious or well behaved, is very important. Especially at the present moment, it is derived from the word sadhu. A perfect sadhu is one who is always engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prasinabharhi's sons are described as sadvaha because of their complete obedience to their father. The father, king, and spiritual master are supposed to be representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And as such, they have to be respected as the Supreme Lord. It is the duty of the father, the spiritual master, and the king to regulate their subordinates in such a way that they ultimately become fully unalloyed devotees of the Supreme Personality of God. That is the duty of the superiors. And it is the duty of the subordinates to obey their orders perfectly and in a disciplined way. The word sirasa on their heads is also significant. For the Prachetas accepted the orders of their father and carried them on their heads, which means they accepted them in a complete surrender. Verse 20. Sasamudram upavistinam apasyan sumuhatsaraha mahan manaiva swacham prasanna salilasyam. Synonyms: Sasamudram, almost near the ocean. Upa, more or less. Visternam, very wide and long. Apasyan, they saw. Sumahat, very great. Saraha, reservoir of water. Mahat, great soul. Manha, mind. Iva, like. Swacham, clear. Prasanna, joyful. Salila, water. Asyam, taken shelter of. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. While traveling, the Pratyeshas happened to see a great reservoir of water, which seemed almost as big as the ocean. The water of this lake was so calm and quiet that it seemed like the mind of a great soul, and its inhabitants, the aquatics, appeared very peaceful and happy to be under the protection of such a watery reservoir. Purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The word Sasamudra means near the sea. The reservoir of water was like a bay, for it was not very far from the sea. The word upa, meaning more or less, is used in many ways, as in the word papati, which indicates a husband more or less. That is to say, a lover who is acting like a husband. Upa also means greater, smaller, or nearer. Considering all these points, the reservoir of water which was seen by the Prachechas while they were traveling was actually a large bay or a lake. And unlike the sea or a ocean, which has turbulent waves, their reservoir was very calm and quiet. Indeed, the water was so clear that it seemed like the mind of some great soul. There may be many great souls, gnanis, yogis, and bhaktas, or pure devotees, are also called great souls, but they are very rarely found. One can find many great souls amongst yogis and gnanis, but a truly greatest soul, a pure devotee of the Lord, who is fully surrendered to the Lord, is very rarely found. Sa Mahatman Sudurlabha, Bhagavad Gita 7.19. A devotee's mind is always calm, quiet, and desireless because he is always Anyabilasita Sunyam, having no desire other than to serve Krishna as his personal servant, friend, father, mother, or conjugal lover. Due to his association with Krishna, a devotee is always very calm and cool. It is also significant that within that reservoir, all the aquatics were also very calm and quieter. Because the disciples of a devotee have taken shelter of a great soul, they become very calm and quiet and are not agitated by the waves of the material world. This material world is often described as an ocean of nescience. In such an ocean, everything is agitated. The mind of a great devotee is also like an ocean or a very large lake, but there is no agitation. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 2.41, Vyasayatmika Buddhir Ekha Kuru Nandana. Those who are fixed in their service of the Lord are not agitated by anything. It is also stated in Bhagavad Gita 6.22, Yasmin asti na dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. Even if he suffers some reversal in life, a devotee is never agitated. Therefore, whoever takes shelter of a great soul or a great devotee becomes pacified. The Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhyalila 19.149, it is stated, Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Atye Santa. A devotee of Lord Krishna is always peaceful because he has no desire. Whereas the yogis, karmis, and gnanis have so many desires to fulfill. One may argue that the devotee have desires for they wish to go home, back to Godhead. But such a desire does not agitate the mind. Although he wishes to go back to Godhead, a devotee is satisfied in any condition of life. Consequently, the word Mahan Manaha is used in this verse to indicate that the reservoir of water was as calm and quiet as the mind of a great devotee. नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा शिवासादि गौर भक्तविंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे I would like to seek blessing from all the assembled Vaishnavas and thank you for an opportunity to purify myself. And please forgive me for any shortcomings. So, we are in the fourth canto, the creation of the fourth order, and the chapter 24, chanting the song sung by Lord Shiva. Just to give a quick recap, Maitreya Muni continued narrating the Prudhamara's progeny upon the Vidra request. Vijitaswa, the eldest son of Maharaj Prutu, and he is also known as Antardhana, and he has three sons, namely Pavaka, Pavamana, and Suchi. So Maharaj Antardhana had another wife named Nambaswati, and by her he had another son named Havirdhana. And Havirdhana, the son of Maharaj Antardhana, had a wife named Havirdhani, who gave birth to six sons named Parshat, Gaya, Shukla, Krishna, Satya, Jitvrata. And Havirdhana's very powerful son named Barshat, he is also known as Prasinabarhi. And he married to a Satadruti and he got 10 children and all are known as Prachetas. And following the directions of their father, Prasinambarhi, the Pratyachas left home and performed asteries underwater for several thousands of years and got opportunity to meet Lord Shiva. And Vidra is further inquiring about how the Pratyachas met Lord Shiva and what was the discussion between the Lord Shiva and Pratyachas and what did Lord Shiva instructed to Prachetas. So upon his request, Maitreya Muni continued. And this verse 19 talks about how Prachetas received their father instructions and what directions they went to perform austerities. The Pratyachas referred here in this verse as sadhus. Sadhu means one who practices a sadhana or keenly follows a path of spiritual discipline. Although the vast majority of sadhus are yogis, not all yogis are sadhus. A sadhu life is solely dedicated to achieving moksha, that is, liberation from the cycle of death and rebirth, the fourth and the final ashrama, through meditation and contemplation on Brahman. So, in the purport, Prabhupada emphasizes the importance of spiritual master, king, and father, and how they are representatives of Supreme Personality of Godhead. A spiritual master plays a crucial role in helping individuals realizing God by providing guidance, knowledge, and a path to self discovery. And basically, they act as a bridge connecting seekers with their inner divinity and facilitating a deeper understanding of spiritual truths. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4 and verse 34, Krishna says, Tadvitti pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te gnanam gnanas tattvadarshinaha. Learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him with reverence, and render service unto him. Such an enlightened saint can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. So here Krishna gives the answer in this way. He says, approach a spiritual master, inquire from him submissively, and render service to him. The absolute truth cannot be understood merely by our own contemplation. The Bhagavatam 11.22.10, it says, Andya vidya yuktasya purushasatma vedanam swatona sambhavat anyas tattva gnano gnanadobhavet. The intellect of the soul is clouded by ignorance from endless lifetimes, covered with nescience, The intellect cannot overcome its ignorance simply by its own effort. One needs to receive knowledge from a God realized saint who knows the absolute truth. The Vedic scriptures advise us repeatedly on the importance of the Guru on the spiritual path. Acharyavan Purusho Vedaha. It is stated in Chandanodhyaya Upanishad 6.14.2. Only through a Guru you can understand the Vedas. And also the Panchadashi states Tatpadhamburu Hadvandva Seva Nirmala Chetasam Shukabodhya Tattvasya Vivekoyam Vidiyate. Serve the Guru with a pure mind, giving up doubts. He will then bring you great happiness by bestowing knowledge of the scriptures and discrimination. And also, Jagadguru Shankaracharya states, Yavat Gururna Kartavyo Tavan Muktirna Labhyate. Until you surrender to a Guru, you cannot be liberated from the material energy. One of the most magnanimous graces of the God is when he brings the soul in contact with a true Guru. But the process of transfer of spiritual knowledge from the teacher to the student is very different from that of a material knowledge. Secular education does not require deep respect for the teacher. The transmission of knowledge can be purchased simply by paying the teacher's fees. However, spiritual edification is not imparted to the student by the mechanical teaching process, nor is it purchased from a price. It is revealed in the heart of the disciple by Guru's grace when the disciple develops humility and the Guru is pleased with the service attitude of the disciple. That's why Prahlad Maharaj says, Naisham matis tavat urukta magnam spristasya nartopamyo yadhartaha mahiyasam padarajobhishekam niskinchanam na yavat. Until we bath ourselves in the dust of the lotus feet of a saint, we can never have an experience of the transcendental platform. Hence, in this verse, Sri Krishna mentions the need for an approach of a guru with reverence, inquiring about the truth from him with humility, and pleasing him by rendering service. The Bhagavatam 6.3.19 says, Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. The path of religion is directly enunciated by the Lord. Therefore, mental speculation or dry arguments cannot help lead one to the right path, nor by independent study of books of knowledge can one progress in spiritual life. One has to approach a bona fide spiritual master to receive the knowledge. Such a spiritual master should be accepted in full surrender, and one should serve the spiritual master like a menial servant without false prestige. Similarly, own father and king also plays an important role in our spiritual progress, and we have to serve them with the bottom of our heart. So, and in the verse 20, describe the lake that has seen the Prachesas on their way, and the lake was very calm, pleasant, unlike like sea, where you see a lot of waves around. Here, Prabhupada compares the calm and pleasantness of a lake with the mind of a true devotee. A true devotee is always calm, quiet, and desireless because he always anyabhilashita sunyitam, having no desire other than to serve Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7.19 about Mahatmas. Here it was mentioned about the Mahatmas in the verse, the Prabhupada. Bahunam janmanam ante gnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. Souls who realize the material world to be perverted reflection of a spiritual variegatedness and realizes that in everything there is a relationship with the Supreme Lord Krishna. Thus, he thinks of everything in a relation to Vasudeva, Sri Krishna. Such a universal vision of Vasudeva precipitates one's full surrender to the Supreme Lord Krishna as the highest soul. Such surrendered great souls are very rare, and these souls are called Mahatmas, and their minds are calm, peaceful, and undisturbed as calm lake with no waves. So, in summary, we have to follow the directions of the Guru, King, Father, and elevated Vaishnavas to make progress in our spiritual path. We have to develop unflinching faith, and our only desire should be serving the Supreme Lord Hari. We all want to be peaceful, happy in our lives, and the formula is certainly given here how we can be peaceful, calm, and happy. The essence of all the scriptures are the same. We are part and parcel of the Supreme, and we are qualitatively same and quantitatively different. And our constitutional dharma is Sarvda Hari. Jivera Swarupa Hoya Krishna Nityadas. With this, I conclude. Vancha kalpetarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda